I'm gonna choke him out. I'm gonna apply a submission hold. Make him quit. Help him up. Send him home.
iMagnoTV, I'm back.
Cause you dumb. That's why your hair receding. Your brain is toxic. Your hair is receding, bro.
I'ma ice that motherfucker. Watch. I'ma ice that motherfucker. On my life, I'ma ice that motherfucker.
iMagnoTV, I'm back.
What's up, y'all? iMagnoTV. I'm back once again. So, what's been on my mind a lot is corruption in general. You know, just corruption. It's everywhere. Every sport. You know, look, I'm 42 years old. I fought professionally for 9 years at the highest level. And I know for a fact these fights are fixed and rigged and stuff like that. That brings me to UFC 280, which took place in Abu Dhabi. Charles Oliveira versus Islam was the main event, and look, that was 100%. Islam was gonna win that no matter what. It was in Abu Dhabi, you know. The fan base was his. Charles Oliveira totally could have got out of that move. You know, Charles Oliveira is known to get hit, fall back to lure his opponent to jump into his guard, to get into the whole jiu-jitsu thing. But look, I'm a 4-stripe brown belt. I'm almost a black. I should be a black belt by now. But you know, there's politics involved. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, I got injured, and but that's not the point. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was 14 years old, so I know how to get out of a head and arm triangle, and I know what it takes to tap from a head and arm triangle. And I'm telling y'all right now, he did not even attempt. The level of jiu-jitsu that Charles Oliveira has, he didn't even attempt to get out of that. That wasn't even the tight squeeze. Yeah, Islam is strong, but that wouldn't attack me. Hell no. All right, for real. So that's one thing right there. That was already planned. That was contrived. They wanted Islam to have the belt. You know, just like Kamzat's gonna get the belt. Anyways, back to boxing. You know, it's so easy for people to be champions. For example, Jake Paul. I guarantee you, he will be a world champion in boxing. You know, I was watching boxing just recently. I forgot. I think it was on like the Zone or something. There's these two girls from I don't know where they're from, but they're both world champions. There's also a guy who's a champion in Japan. I think he's at 130 or 135. He'll remain to have that belt. He'll keep having that belt until somebody from America or a different country goes there and takes his belt from him. But it's so easy to get belts and become champion. It is. It really is. Now, if you're on a level like Teofimo Lopez and you're like Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko, that's a little different. Those belts are different. You know, there's different types of world champion belts that you can get, of course. You know, but in a nutshell, to be a world champion is not that hard. I mean, if you look at Teofimo Lopez, he already has 3 belts. You know what I mean? Just from one fight at 140. And that's not dissing Teofimo. I'm a big Teofimo fan. But I'm just saying, that's just an example. So, if Jake Paul can have a 6-year plan, and Mayweather, Conor McGregor, their PR and all that is all set up for them to succeed in 6 years, you don't think that, you know, the whole sport and even the whole world and the government has plans? My brother, one of my brothers is really high up and works in for Amazon, and they're talking about recession and this and that. So I brought that up to him. I told him, you know what? They have a big plan. You know, they have a 10-year plan. They have a 20-year plan. They know what they're doing. All this recession talk is to make people panic. That's why I don't watch the news. I don't even watch the media. I don't watch the hype of the fights. You know, yeah, it's entertaining, but who's this? How you doing? Sorry. But anyways, yeah, it's entertaining to watch the news and stuff like that, but it distracts people from what's about to happen. especially not just the sport media, but the news in general. It likes to cause panic. And why do they cause the panic? They're causing panic to distract people from other things that are about to come. That's a fact, you know. Um, also, the way fights are fixed. I mean, let's get into that real quick. But before we get into that, let me tell you something real quick. Teddy Atlas said something one time, and goes back to when Tiafimo was saying that it was all rigged and contrived for Devin Haney to become undisputed, and that he would beat Kambosos. And I made a video about it and saying either Tiafimo is right or I'm crazy and Devin Haney won't win. So now, what happened? Devin Haney's undisputed, so Tiafimo's right, and I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. So now what? It is what it is. And but Teddy Atlas made this statement on his podcast saying, "Oh well, if he was talking about Tiafimo, his Tiafimo's interview about it being contrived, about it being fixed for Haney to win, no matter what." And Teddy Atlas said, "Well, if it's rigged, then why even train, bro? Teddy Atlas, use your brain. You got one. You're experienced. Listen, when you're a professional fighter at that level, that elite level, you have to be conditioned. You have to be able, because there's gambling involved. Gambling, mafia, money. It's all about money. You have to have that. You have to be able to take that beating and make it look real. An example, Ugas versus Spence. Look at my videos. Look back at that. Ugas got his orbital bone broken, quote unquote. There's no proof of that, but he got busted up pretty bad. He had to take a beating. There's a lot of other things that went on in that fight that I could point out, but y'all can just go back to the video and look at it and explain. The video explains itself, and that's why they shadow banned me for 4 months. And I'm not being monetized for this. I can't monetize my own channel because I speak the truth, and they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want y'all to hear the truth. So now I can't make money off of this. But if y'all want to help me out, cash at me, #Magno44. I'll leave it right here for y'all. Going back to Teddy Atlas. Look, if you're a professional athlete, you have to be conditioned. All those fighters have to train. They have to train, win or lose. They know they're going to win. They know they're going to lose most of the time. There are some real fights out there. There are some real fights that do happen that aren't really controlled or rigged or fixed, but the judges probably are, depending on where the fight is. And like these promoters, they control it all. Teofimo did say one thing. Teofimo Lopez did say one thing that I don't agree with. He said these fighters can do what they want, and no, they can't. No, they can't. If you have a promoter, you don't even have to sign the contract. The promoter signs the contract. The fighter don't even sign the contract. So all that ducking you hear and all, hey, he's ducking me. This is cap. Blah blah blah. No. I already told y'all. The promoters have more control over it. They control it all. Whatever the promoters want. Bob Arum, Eddie Hearns, stuff like that. Al Heyman. They are the ones who pull the strings of these puppets, of these fighters. And I'm calling the fighters puppets. Yes, I am. Because that's what they are. And they're also overpaid. They're overpaid. That's why they're, asking for these outrageous amounts of money to fight. They're overpaid. Look, and also, okay, let's go back to the padding your record, the fixing of fights. I know for a fact because I fought 9 years professionally. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all an example. In 2009, STFC 6, I fought. They told me I was gonna fight a guy named Eric Perez, who was making his pro debut. He was 5'7", no experience, no other fights, blah blah. I researched him. My trainers researched him. We couldn't find anything on him. I was like, this is gonna be easy. But they did something weird. They said, hey, we need a video of you training so that we can put it on like I guess the advertising or something like that. So I did. But you know what they did with that video? They sent it to him so they could see how I train. Now, when we got to the weigh-ins, he was a lot bigger than 5'7". He was about 5'10". And I was like, okay, this Mexican's pretty big, you know what I mean? I was like, but I can still take him. I got him. He's you know, I'm 3 years in the game. I can take him. All right, so now we get to the fight. We rehydrate. He got even bigger. They probably gave him IVs. I'm pretty sure, but I'm positive. A lot of the fighters do. All of these fighters do. You know, that's how they rehydrate. They say it's illegal, but they all do it. But he was huge. He ended up being Eric Rubacavla, 5'10" inches tall, at a Greg Jackson's camp in New Mexico, with a record of 11-4 in Mexico and 6-2 in the United States. Eric Rubacavla. I was like, wait, what? I thought I was supposed to be fighting Eric Perez. What happened? What happened? But I was already locked in the cage. So I took it to him. I did what I had to do. I lost the fight. It was fight of the night. He was a lot better, a lot more experienced than I expected. I had trained for somebody completely different, but that's what they do. They lie. And there's another boxing match that I saw with this dude who was experienced. He was an up and comer, probably going to be a star for somebody, some promotion company, but promoter. He fought this dude who quote unquote was 10-0 with 6 knockouts. Bruh, just by his footwork alone, I knew he had never fought in his life. Just by looking at his body, I could tell he had never fought in his life. And he was slipping, he was falling down. He acted like he hurt his ankle because his footwork was so bad. He accidentally landed a good punch on the dude and almost, messed up everything, and he ended up losing anyways. But you could tell he had never fought a day in his life. And that's what they do. They pull guys off the street, out of the gym. They literally tell the gym, hey, do you have a guy who's about this size, blah, blah, blah. And they'll give him a record of whatever they want. And usually it's the guys from out of the country, like from Mexico and stuff like that. Devin Haney got called out by Paulie Malignaggi. And basically, Paulie Malignaggi exposed him for his dad paying for his fights in Mexico. And it's true. Rolly Romero even said that. I had even said that before. Before he fought Kambosos, he was basically a 15-0 fighter. All those fights in Mexico, they shouldn't even count. That's not even fair. One of them he should have even lost, but he paid it off. He paid to get it turned over. I could train a guy. I could start all over, train myself, or go to a boxing gym to get trained. Change my name even. Go to Mexico. Fight these fighters that are boxers, but no offense to them, with all due respect, they're not on that level. They're like, that's why they call them cans and cab drivers and tomato cans and stuff like that, because that's what they are. They're going there fighting in a freaking bar in a boxing ring, unsanctioned, really, basically, but they make it happen. The WBC is in Mexico, like that's where it's located. I mean, that's just how it is, man. It's all corrupt. The NFL is basically like the WWE. I forgot the football player's name, but he came out and said in the interview that the players know each other's plays. They already know who's gonna win and lose. It's all scripted. It's all for money. They're selling apparel. And Friendly Ghost made a good comment, saying you got guys wearing jerseys with other men, and it's basically a game in a game, and that's deep. You got to think about that. It's all for money. It's not all for money. It's gambling is money, but it's deeper than that. It's all corrupt. Corruption is everywhere. Where there's money involved, there is corruption. Please remember that. That's what this rant is about. I'm tired of watching. All I see is fakeness when I watch these sports, and it's terrible that everybody else doesn't see it. I try to enjoy it, and some of it is real, and I still do enjoy it, and I'll always try to enjoy it. But you can't help but not see the truth. Open your eyes. It has nothing to do with being awake or being woke. I'm iMagnoTV. You heard it here first. Please click like and subscribe, and cash at me, money sign Magno 44.